now rocking with the best.
Purple yellow, purple yellow, purple yellow, purple yellow.
The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles.
Welcome to the Big Baby Jonathan Sports Podcast.
Oh, he's smoking hot.
The latest Laker news.
Another great Showtime feed.
The greatest Lakers show.
This is going to be legendary for a long time.
This is the Big Baby Jonathan Sports Podcast.
Lakers all day.
Go Lakers!
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Big Baby here, man, for Big Baby Sports. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Got Byron Scott on once again, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on, Big Baby Sports, man. Hope all is well with you and the family.
Man, everything is great, Big Baby. Life is good. I'm blessed. Can't complain one bit, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on. And, yeah, we're going to get into it, man. The Lakers are 42-38, man. Overall, how do you think the season is going, and how do you think Darvin Ham's doing as a coach in general?
I think I'm going to answer the latter first. I think Darvin's done a great job. I really have. With all the injuries that they've had, with the trades that they've made, some of the disgruntled players that they've had, I mean, he's done a hell of a job of keeping that locker room together. So I got to give him a lot of props on that. How the Laker team, until Rob Pelinka made that trade, brought D'Angelo Russell and those guys over, the team has really started to gel. And, Mr. Reeves is playing just lights out, so you got that third great player right now on the team with Anthony Davis and LeBron, and everybody else seems to understand their roles and they're doing their job. So I look at this team as a team that has a chance in the playoffs to do some special things. But, of course, it's always about staying healthy. If they can stay healthy, they're going to be scary in the West.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Like, they started at 2-10. They had disgruntled people. They had Westbrook, man. Like, to be honest, man, I feel like Westbrook I think the spotlight was too big on him, in my personal opinion. You know what I mean? I know a lot of players that come to the Lakers, the spotlight's too on them. They don't know how to perform under the bright lights, man. How do you feel like Russell Westbrook did with the Lakers in general?
You know what? I think Russell did okay. I'm not going to say he did great or he did bad. I think he also accepted the role of coming off the bench. So I think his intentions were great because he wanted to win. But like you said, playing in L.A. ain't for everybody. Sometimes it's just too big to be in this city because there's so much that's demanded and put upon you. And Russell, to me, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, there's no doubt about that. And I love the fact that when he was here, he was willing to do whatever it took to be successful. So I think he gets a bad rap being here in L.A. When they traded him to the Clippers. A lot of blame was put on Russ, but I thought a lot of that blame was undue and unnecessary, and a lot of it wasn't his fault. So I still give him a passing grade when he was here because he tried to do everything the right way. Yeah,
he tried, but there's some times where he looked disengaged at times, man. Turn the ball over, not get back on defense. Anytime the coach would hold him accountable, he would, like, sit on the end of the bench. If you're the coach and you saw, like, as a coach, man, how do you feel? Like, would you be able to handle Westbrook if you're coaching this Laker team?
Listen, we probably would have got in some shouting matches, I ain't gonna lie, and been going at each other, but it's all about trying to win, and the competitive nature comes out as a coach as well, and I'm sure Darwin probably got into him a few times, so at the end of the day, you got to be a man. You got to understand that this is a job. You got to do the very best you can, and as a coach, you have no agenda. Your agenda is only to win. You're not trying to make people happy. You're trying to win basketball games. So I know, with my fiery, competitive nature that I have, and I love Westbrook's passion for the game and his fiery, I know we would probably got into it a couple of times, but it would have been in all love. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you. It would have been all about love and just trying to make him a better person, better basketball player.
Yeah, and I agree, man. If you were coaching this team, I think you would be on a lot of these players, man. I really feel like you'd be on AD at times, LeBron. It's like you keep it real, man, as a coach.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt.
I mean, as a coach, that's your job, and one thing I would always do with my players is I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straight up, and I'm going to tell you what I feel. You ain't got to agree with it, but you got to respect it. And the same with the players. I ain't got to agree with you thinking that I don't play you because of this or that, but you got to respect the position that I'm in as a coach. So yeah, it would be some probably intense shouting matches in that locker room.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it on the court, in front of the fans, but I would definitely wait till we got in the locker room, and would definitely talk to certain players, about getting back on defense or doing this or doing that. But yeah, it would be intense. But I think, you know what though, Big Baby, I think Darwin has that in him. I've seen that fiery nature in him. And I know he's one of those guys that, he made it in the NBA the hard way. I mean, he, 6, 7, 8 years that he played in the league, he was on 5, 6 different teams, so every year he had to make it. And that toughens you up every single year. So I got a lot of respect for D. Ham, man. He's a hell of a guy. I think he's going to be a hell of a coach. Yeah,
what I saw this year from Westbrook, anytime the players would tell him to do something, he would get upset. It's like, you can't get upset. If someone's holding you accountable, you can't get upset. It's part of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? The best thing about being superstars is that you got to be able to allow other people to hold you accountable. The best thing about playing for the Lakers in the 80s was Magic Johnson would come to you, my rookie year and say, hey, if I mess up, let me know.
Yep.
And myself and Coop, as we got older as that group, I was one of the first players that I always tell, Buck, that was wrong. You did, and the one thing about him, he was like, you're right, B. You're right, B. Never took it personal. He took it as what it was, which is, with his criticism, but to correct that, the mistakes that you make in a basketball game. And he would tell you the same thing, So the beauty of our team was that we held each other accountable. And if you can't hold each other accountable, it's going to be hard to win.
Yeah, man. You guys played some tough teams in the 80s and 90s, man. So do you think this era of basketball is soft in your personal opinion?
Yes. Like you said, Big Baby, just keeping it real. This era is so much softer. If you look at any of the 80s footage and even in the early 90s, the physicality of the game was much different. Guys would beat the crap out you if you came across the paint. Yep. You went to dunk the ball, you got the shit knocked out of you. You had to go to the free throw line, and it wasn't nothing personal. You understood that that's the way the game is going to be played. The game was much more of an inside out game then than it is now. Today's basketball game is an outside in game. We would never in our wildest dream think about coming down on a 3-on-1 fast break and shoot a 3-pointer. It was try to get a dunk or a layup. Yeah. So the game is definitely changed. I'm not saying for the worse or for the better. I think the evolution of basketball is always going to continue to change. I still love watching the game and critiquing the game, but it is a totally different game as far as the physicality is concerned because this game is a lot softer than it was back in the day.
Yeah, I started watching Lakers in the early 2000s with Shaq, Kobe. Man, it was just throw the ball in the Shaq. Shaq would spin, dunk on you, block shots
Punish.
like that. Yeah, now you got centers like Giannis and AD, and the Joker be shooting threes, and it's like, no, get your ass on a low block and go to work. You can take this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I was coaching the Nuggets or the Lakers or Milwaukee, I would say, Giannis, go in the post, quit shooting threes. Like I like the game, but I miss the natural center. You know what I mean? Like Shaq, man. I miss those days.
Yeah, those days are gone. I can say that right now. Those days are gone. They might come back. Like I said, the game of basketball, it comes back 360. So some point in time, in this universe, it's gonna come back to where you have those big men that's gonna be planted in the paint. But in the next 5 to 10 years, I don't see that happening. Especially with some of the young kids that I see now that's 7 feet, 7'2", 7'3". They're shooting jumpers. They're handling the ball like guards. So. The game is not going to change in the next 5 to 10 years, but probably in your lifetime, probably not mine. You'll get back to where you have the big man that have his back to the basket.
Yeah, man, and I miss those days. I just miss the domination of the center position. Now you got finesse basketball, and it's cool at times, but I'd rather get the ball on the block, go to work, and like in your career, like in general, man, like what was it like being around the late great Kobe in general? And can you tell us a story about Kobe that you want to share with the audience?
It was fantastic, Big Baby. I got a chance to play with Kobe when he was a rookie. I got a chance to be his mentor and talk to him every day about the game of basketball. We would go different places together. We would sit on the bus together. We would sit on the bench together. And then being able to come full circle and coach him his last 2 years was 2 of the best years I've ever had as a coach. And it has nothing to do with the record because obviously, record-wise with the Lakers, we were terrible. But it was 2 of the most fun years I've had because I got a chance to reconnect, with KB and spend some time with him. And it was unbelievable to get to know him from the kid to the man. Being the kid that I saw that had the unbelievable amount of potential to the legend the icon, that he had grown up to be, one of the greatest players of all times. I think one of my favorite stories about him is when he changed his number from 8 to 24. And when he changed that number, he said, look, coach, it's 24 hours in a day. That means it's 24 hours to get better. And each day I strive to get better than I was the day before. That's why I come to the gym at 5, 6 in the morning. That's why after practice, I'm here another 2 or 3 hours, because each day I'm trying to get better and better. Even at the age of 37, he was still seeking to get better and better. And I think a lot of people don't understand how gifted he was as a basketball player, but how hard he worked as a basketball player. I still go back to Vince Carter, who I love, Tracy McGrady, who I love. I did a bunch of shows on ESPN with Tracy McGrady, got to know him a little bit. I think they were more talented than Kobe Bryant, but they didn't have that same drive. And that's not taking away anything for those two because they're Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? But the drive Kobe Bryant had is a drive that I've never seen in my life, of a guy who wanted to get better each and every day. And he went about it that way. Because the other thing that he would tell me, he said, if I work 4 or 5 hours a day, so if I come 2 hours before practice and then we practice, and then I come back another 2 or 3 hours after practice, I basically just work 5 hours compared to their 1 or 2. And if you multiply that by 7 days a week, month by month, he said, I've gotten so much better than them, they can never catch up. And that was his mentality. And that, to me, was the Mamba mentality when you talked about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, man. Kobe's greatest player of all time, in my personal opinion. He loved his drive, his energy, man. And just like, I know if he was still here, and he would be on this Laker team's ass right now. Like the way he'd be on this team. And like the game when he scored 60, what was your mindset going to that game? Like, did you expect him to go for 60 or just enjoy the last moments of his career?
You know what? I wanted him to have a 20-something, maybe a 30-point game and go out on top like that. And the way that game started, it didn't look good. And, when we got to that last game, I talked to him before the game. I said, all right, listen, we were able to accomplish our goal to get you here relatively healthy into your last game, so I'm going to play you pretty much this whole game, and I just want you to go out there and enjoy it and have fun. Well, he started off like 0 for 5, 0 for 6. Couldn't hit nothing. And then he got fouled, hit a couple of free throws, and that kind of got him going. But when I looked up at the score when he had 50, I was just sitting there shaking my head like, oh my God, and then to end up with 60 points and come out and, gave me a big hug, told me he loved me. And I told him how much I loved him. I don't think I will ever see anything in my lifetime of a player of that magnitude retiring after 20 years to have that type of game for his last and final game. Michael Jordan had a great game, but it was nowhere. It wasn't even close to 60 points, going out. So it was very, surreal for me to be right there and witness this. And then to listen to him in the locker room, tell the guys that, he gave this game everything that he had. And he didn't leave nothing unturned. And that is absolutely true about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, man. He left it all on the court, man. And
every night.
Every single night. Like, he played with messed up fingers. There was a game, I think Gary Vitti popped his finger back in place against the Spurs.
Yes.
And that's like, you see nowadays, if that happened to a player, I'm sitting out for a week.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe 2.
2 weeks, it's like
dislocated finger, he popped it in, Gary taped it up, and he went right back in and played. And I remember Tim Duncan, looking at him, talking to him, and he was like, oh, it's no big deal. It's the same thing, Big Baby. I had him in Portland, and he separated his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. I remember
during the game. He turns around because I'm looking at him, and I'm watching him, kind of do this with his shoulder as he's running up and down the court. And Gary comes up to me and says, something's wrong, get him out. I said, you're right. So I called somebody. I don't know who I said to go get him, but he turns around, he shoots a left-hand jumper from the corner that goes in. I take him out the game, and I said, you all right? He said, yeah, I hurt my shoulder. I said, man, you should have came out a couple of minutes ago. He said, well, I got another hand. I'm okay. I got another hand. After the game, we find out that he separated his shoulder.
Damn.
And this man wanted to continue to play. But again, we won't see guys like that anymore. I mean, that's just the type of guy he was.
Yeah, like I remember that game against Portland, and also, the game against Golden State. I know he tore his Achilles, but he shot 2 free throws, man. Like usually players would be like, "I'll go sit out," and just the hustle. Just he put his body on the line every night, and I will miss him. I have a story too because he actually followed me on Twitter.
Yeah,
and me and him had a conversation. Never thought Kobe Bryant would follow me on Twitter.
Well, you know what, Big Baby, that's because he liked what you was doing, brother. I mean, like you say, game recognized game. He liked what you was doing. That's the only reason he would follow you, because he enjoyed what you was doing.
Yeah.
And I want to just go back to that game you just talked about when he shot the 2 free throws when he tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
Every player that I've seen that tore his Achilles would carry it off the court.
Mm-hmm.
He shot his free throws and walked to the locker room.
Yeah.
That's the Kobe Bryant that we know.
Yeah, I already thought Kobe was going to play through it, to be honest.
I think everybody did because of his mentality. But there's certain things that even Superman couldn't overcome.
Yeah, man, I wish he would have got a chance to get number 6, man. That would have been awesome. You know what I mean?
Agree.
And when do you think Kobe will get a statue with the Lakers?
It's got to be soon. I would think in the next year or so. Maybe next year, by his birthday time or the anniversary. I think it should definitely be in the works right now. I don't know if it is. I'm not privy to that, but his statue has to be put up there relatively soon.
Yeah, I saw you're on Instagram. You're with Jeannie, the Vanessa Bryant, and the other family about the Kobe's hands.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. What was that like?
Well, that was an unbelievable request, from Vanessa to call me and ask me if I would speak, at the Chinese theater where they're going to be, putting his hands in stone. First athlete to be inducted into that. And that was just an honor for her to even ask me to do that, and to be able to go up there and kind of share a little bit about his mentality and the type of relationship that we had and the type of husband and father that he was. It was just a privilege and an honor. And afterwards, just to be able to, a lot of the people had left, a lot of reporters, and I just, I think Jim Hill was still there, a buddy of mine, and a couple other reporters. I just had a moment where I felt I should just, kneel down and pay homage to one of the greatest of all times and a really good friend. And I wanted to put my hands in his hands and just show him the respect that he deserved and how much I love him. Yeah,
and he'll be missed, man. I know that day when Jeannie Buss announces that they're having a statue, I bet you that those tickets will be sold out like that. Oh yeah, I mean, you once it's announced, man, you better be by the phone because I am. I need to be there. An hour at the most, and those tickets are gonna be gone. And hopefully, I'm gonna have to call and say, Jeannie, save me one, save me two for me and CC. yeah, because when I went to the Shaq statue event, man, it was packed too for Shaq. Yeah. But I think for Kobe, even if people don't get to see the game inside, people will be out there by the Crypto.com arena, man. Yeah, it's going to be double, and the viewership is going to be triple. I mean, again, 20 years in LA, and what he was able to bring to the organization, to this franchise, is unbelievable. Yeah, man, I'm going to ask you this. I have it written down. Are you still interested in coaching the NBA, or are you currently retired right now? I am currently retired from coaching in the NBA, Big Baby. I mean, I didn't like the way it ended, to be honest with you. With the Laker organization, even though I still got nothing but mad love for purple and gold, and always will, especially as long as Jeannie's there. Yep. But I just didn't like the way it ended with myself and Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak. Yeah. And it pretty much put a bad taste in my mouth. So, yeah, it's something that I haven't even thought about doing, ever since that day had happened. I've kind of gone on and done other things with my businesses and things of that nature to kind of keep me busy. Yeah, man, that's so fortunate that had to happen, man. No, you're right. I agree. Because you're a talented coach, man. You keep it real, man. If I was in the NBA, I would love to play, on your team because you keep it real. Don't sugarcoat nothing, man. It's like, I know if you were on this Laker team, you would probably got on Westbrook at the time. You probably would have got on Shooter at times. You probably would have got on LeBron at times behind the scenes, because you're old school, and yeah. Like in general, like how was it back in the 90s with Magic and Kareem in general? Like what was the camaraderie like behind the scenes? It was unbelievable. I mean, it was a family, and it still is to this day. We still pretty much stay in contact. I talked to Coop the other day, just text James the other day. AC is my daughter's godfather. I mean, Kareem is somebody who called me about a month ago and asked me for some more bags that I was giving out. And, we're just a family, man. I think that kind of showed when we did the Showtime reunion in Hawaii that Magic and Pat Riley put together. It showed how close-knit we are even after all these years. We still stay in contact with each other, and I think that was one of one of the most beautiful parts about our team is the fact that we truly did love each other and care for each other and want each other to do well. And, that stemmed from Magic on the way down, because he was giving. I mean, Magic, I tell people this all the time, could have averaged 25, 30 points a game.
But he knew that for the betterment of the team, he had to be the facilitator and get everybody involved, and that's what he was so great at doing. But it's been an unbelievable ride knowing these guys, man, and being able to spend time with them. And even to this day, we are still very close.
Yeah, man, worthy clap.
Yeah.
he gave me a shout out on Spectrum Sports Live with Chris McGee. I got shot up a couple times by him. But James really keeps it real too, man. And
yes, he does.
Just in general, man. We got some questions from a girl, Laker girl, wants to know: do you think the Lakers can win the championship this year?
I do. I think if they stay healthy, the chemistry is there now.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry is there now. There's no doubt about that. They got to stay healthy, number one, and number two, they got to be committed on the defensive end. If they are committed on the defensive end of closing lanes down, challenging shots, rebounding the ball, and then they can get up and down the floor. If they're committed on the defensive end and they stay healthy, they got a chance.
Yeah, I agree, because there are times where Lakers play really good defense.
Yes.
And young guys step up. And I feel like if AD and LeBron play really well, then the others follow. Like last night versus the San Diego Clippers, it looked like the Lakers were coming out of a back-to-back. LeBron only scored 3 points in the first half and dropped 33. Scored 30 in the second half, but just in general, man, I'm going to ask you this. Why do people think that Lakers and Clippers is a rivalry?
I have no idea. Listen, I mean, as much as we hate the fact that the Clippers have beaten the Lakers 11 out of 12, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not a rivalry. You still got 0 championships. You still have not been to the finals one time. How is that a rivalry? And I'm listening to Clipper Darrell talk about we run LA. You don't run jack.
Yeah, they don't run anything.
You ain't won nothing. Win something first, then talk to me about who runs LA. Right now, it's still purple and gold no matter what.
Yep.
When they win a championship, then we can talk.
Yeah, and the rivalries, you got the Celtics and Lakers. That's a rivalry.
That's the only rivalry right now.
Yep, I can't stand the Celtics. And you got the Knicks and Miami Heat in the East. You got Milwaukee and Indiana. That's a rivalry too. Just in Indiana back in the day with the Lakers too. That's a rivalry.
Oh yeah.
Sacramento Lakers. Was Vlade Divac, Kobe, Shaq. That's a rivalry. So like Clipper Darrell, me and him, had him on the show one time. He was talking all year. Then I was like, once the Lakers win a championship, you got to wear a big baby. I got a big baby jersey that says big baby on the back. And the Lakers won a championship, and I still never got that bet. So he's ducking. Clipper Darrell.
And you probably won't get it because that's what I'm talking about. That's the Clipper fan for you. Now, see, if that was a Laker fan, we would have honored that bet. But that's the Clipper for you.
Yeah, but Shaq has to wear that Clipper blue and whatever that color is.
Yeah, red, black, white, whatever it is. Like you said, whatever it is.
But that's the thing though about the Clippers. They play us really well, and then against everybody else, they don't play they just don't play well against anybody else. So when you see that, what is that as a competitor? What do you feel when teams do that?
That's like back in the day. Everybody got up for us.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody get up for the champs. Everybody get up for the big dog. But and then when they beat the big dog, they go on and lose 2 or 3 straight afterwards. I mean, but we don't look at them in the same light. We don't get up for them. We don't get up for them. So that again, that we run LA and all the Clippers have been beating the Lakers and all that stuff. The Lakers, it's not a rivalry. The Clippers are not a threat. Until they become a threat, then we'll start giving them the respect that they think they deserve.
And they acted like, because the game last night, they acted like they won the championship last night.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Westbrook yelling, screaming, Kawhi yelling, screaming. I'm like,
exactly.
And Charles Barkley said today that on TNT that Kawhi is the king of LA. Yeah.
No.
He's not, because LeBron won the championship with the Lakers, and it's like LeBron is one of the greatest, but I just feel like, in my personal opinion, he picks and chooses when to get off, and then it really makes me upset because I'm a Kobe fan. I just used to see somebody take over when the team's down, and it's go at it.
Hey, big baby, to me, the king of LA, as far as basketball, he don't even have a uniform on right now anymore. And that's Magic and Kareem. They still, to me, the king of LA. That's no disrespect to LeBron, because he's one of the greatest of all time. There's no doubt about it. But Kawhi Leonard don't run LA, and I'm gonna say LeBron doesn't either. Magic Johnson, Kareem, those guys are still the king of LA. Yeah. And since our beloved, KB is not here, that's the only reason his name is not being mentioned as well. And
how do you feel like fans are saying that LeBron deserves a statue? I'm gonna go first. I feel like he doesn't deserve a statue of Lakers. I feel like if he was here for his whole career, he can get one. But for him to get a statue with the Lakers, I don't know. Well, how do you feel?
No, I agree with you. I think longevity, not only in the league, which LeBron has done, but longevity with the organization is very important. Magic, spent his whole career here. Kobe spent his whole career here. Kareem came over from Milwaukee at an early age and played here for 14, 15 years. Jerry West spent his whole career here. Will Chamberlain came from Philly, spent the rest of his career. Everybody that got a Shaq, went from Orlando to LA and basically, played 10 years in LA or whatever it is. He spent a lot of years here in Los Angeles. So everybody that you look up that has a statue up there spent significant time in the city of Los Angeles, not 4 or 5 years, not 2 or 3 years, but significant time, almost double digits in years. So as far as I'm concerned, unless LeBron can win a championship this year and maybe one next year, then we could talk about a statue for him. But right now, I think the guys that they have up there, with the exception of Kobe, are all the guys who deserve it, and Kobe got to be the next one.
Yeah, Kobe deserves it, man. I mean, even like Pau Gasol got his jersey retired. That's like an accomplishment too for Pau. Like, Pau's one of my favorite players, man. When he first came to Lakers, I was ecstatic because I like his game and stuff.
Right.
But the fact that he got his jersey retired, that makes it really good. I wish Kobe was here to see it, man. That would have been like icing on the cake if Kobe would have saw his teammate Pau Gasol get that jersey retired, man. It's
absolutely.
Yeah, we got one more question from my boy, Angry Lakers fan.
My nephew.
Wants to know, when will you guys be able to schedule a show, you and him?
Well, we talk all the time on social media, so we'll get one scheduled. If he wants to do it next week or the week after, we can definitely get it done. Nephew, no, I'm there for him. We gonna definitely get it done though. But hit me back up on my social media, nephew, and we'll schedule something for next week.
Hey, I'm gonna be sending you some Big Baby Sports merch, man, so you can rock it on your podcast.
No doubt.
All right, man. You want to plug in your channel or your YouTube channel and social media, man?
Social media is official. Yeah, social media is official. Official Byron Scott at gmail.com. The podcast is Off the Dribble with your boy Byron Scott. You can check it out. We're going to be starting season 4 pretty soon, and we got some special guests on season 4 that I think you guys will really enjoy.
I most definitely gotta come up to the studio, man. Check it out, man. One of
yes,
these days.
Yes, sir.
So you have
definitely.
a good one.
Peace.